stretching my leg. Oh, right. Hi, guys. How you doing? Mickey here, Kaz here, Willow here.
With the Halloween vibe going on, girls and boys.
Got the Halloween vibe going on. Very nice, I must say so, my lovely. Welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, to the Sunday Social, to the chat. I do apologise, guys. We're a few minutes later than normal, and obviously for friends overseas, the clocks have gone back in the UK last night. So you know, if you join us late, an hour late, do apologise. All right,
so that's it. Face. That's better. I can see what I'm doing now.
First priorities, because I need to treat myself. Still before 8. Oh yeah, of course I am, mate. Right, I'm just going to adjust.
Lee. Hello, T.
Just adjust the
Janet, Kitten Killer, Owen, John. Who else?
Play with the lighting.
Hi, Katrina. Sorry I didn't get to have a chat with you, Katrina. I'll definitely do some tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's. God, we've been in there for ages.
Yeah, John. Hiya, mate. How you doing? Hope you're good out there. Let's go.
Yes.
God, blimey, everybody's been busy. So I'll run through them. Hi, John. Hi, Kitten. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Janet. How you doing, sweetheart? Hiya, Owen.
Hi, Living Lavoo.
Living Lavoo. Hiya, mate. How you doing, Log Hoppers? I know you guys are out there. Hope you're good.
Yeah, I quite liked it. Yeah, I've got.
T, hiya T, how you doing? I think that's everybody. I think I've got everybody.
Yes,
Lee Michelle. Hi guys. So, yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm wearing the Halloween top tonight. We've got some fireworks going on outside because next Thursday is Halloween and it's my birthday. So either get it before or you get it after. So, yeah.
Yeah, so of course, round here, any excuse to let off
fireworks. Hi, Stealth.
Hi, Stealth. How you doing, mate? Right, I am going to crack open. What am I drinking tonight? Well, I'm drinking Capel Road cider from a can. I don't normally drink cider from a can. Not too keen on it. However, these the lovely Kaz got for me, and these are from Western Cider. Yeah, this is a craft blend of a dark strawberry dark straw amber dry cider.
God, don't keep you awake, Willow.
Do excuse me. I'm alive. You won't believe this. I'm actually allergic to the dog. I've been allergic to dogs for years. It's never stopped me from owning one, has it? My little furry swine.
He's a bit hyped up. He's been stealing a couple of jelly beans. That's for the kids for Halloween.
Yeah, the dog got into the jelly beans.
Yes.
The dog is now running around.
Yeah, he's actually going up to us going, you must give me some jelly beans.
Give me the fix. So let's have a look at this cider.
I'm on zero sugar. What is it? Watermelon? Yeah, watermelon Fanta.
It's light coloured.
Ooh. That's a funny colour. It's like I'm drinking watered down blood.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I better not shake it because I was going to open it.
Got a bit vampire. So there's my cider. Cheers to you all.
I believe that's made by Westerns.
It is. Oh, it's a bit dry.
Is it?
Oh, it's very dry. Oh, it's very dry. Very dry. I think I've been making it for crab apples.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad cider. It's not.
It's some fruit in it.
It's a good cider. I'm just going to run downstairs and get a bottle of something to just... If you like your cider dry and quite tart, yeah, that is that is definitely one to go with. I would recommend that.
Yes,
right, so I'm just going to go grab something to sweeten it slightly and mellow it down because I have a funny feeling. What's the strength on that? What is the strength on that? 5.2. Yeah.
John said it's so dry it's got dust bunnies.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 seconds, my love.
Right, let's get now Willow's gone for under my chair. I can get comfortable again. Right, how are we all doing? We've had someone had fireworks going off the other night. It's quite late, and the jungle drums started around here. Oh, he's doing fireworks. It's not fair. Yeah, yeah. The dogs and that animals do suffer with the fireworks, but this was actually it turned out later on. It was someone's wedding celebration, so you can't really say that. I mean, I know that I understand. Is it Sainsbury's or Asda have bought out a range of fireworks that don't actually make the bang, so you get all the pretty lights, but you don't get all the bangs with it. No, I was fine getting my Wooby untied. Thank you, John. In fact, the day they arrived, I tucked myself up on the sofa with my Wooby over me, and Willow decided that it'd be really fun to jump over behind my knees and start digging.
And so Kaz has discovered the love and pleasure of a Wooby. Much to your delight.
Oh yes, it's so warm. It's lovely. Jason's. I know Jason's put his on his bed to use for now in his van, and yes, he said that was
because Jason, being the mad kind of sort of out there nutter he is, he's decided he's not going to bother. He's not going to bother with his diesel heater this year. He's just going out there and manning it. Well, I think it's just an excuse to get one of them wood stoves. So what am I going to do with my cider tonight? Grab the first thing out of the cupboard.
Oh, it's a wild berry iron brew.
Iron brew, wild berry slush. So I'm just going to top that off a bit of that. I'm sure my Scottish friends would approve.
Yeah, I didn't say we don't get wild berry normally. It's making it very fizzy.
I reckon half a can. Half a can? About half a can.
Pockets is TJ Pockets is here.
Now that's better.
That
is a lot better. that
so it's got some iron in
your... The mouth is staying the normal shape. Yes, Johnson.
I know it is, but it was a little bit too dry for it.
Right. Personally, it's a nice cider, but blimey, you could put that in car batteries and run them.
Yeah.
That's quite too top for me. So now my cider's got girders in it. Hi, Kiwi.
We had some quite positive. Hi, Daz. Positive reactions to your sort of 72-hour prep. It's not scaremongering video.
Yeah. So this week I've been a bit.
He meant you ruined the iron brew by putting cider in it.
Yeah, probably did ruin the iron brew actually. So this week the videos are put up this week. So we did the prepping with no scaremongering, and that's part of a series. This week I'm doing another prepping video. So what I'm intending to do is take you down the prepping route, the prepping thought process. But I wanted to start with what I call the most basic beginner start of prepping, i.e. the home prepping, the few things, 72 hours, you're not in a high-risk environment, the sort of thing the government's recommending, the sort of thing I would say if you've never thought or you don't want to prep, the sort of thing that would be worth starting off with or just putting in your cupboard. And we're going to take that further. And over the next few weeks, or maybe months, what I am going to do, I am going to take it into the SHTF situation. I am going to take it down that rabbit hole. However, what I want to do is do this gradually. I want to put a common sense approach to it without scaremongering. Okay? And this all comes about because I've seen a video. I won't say whose video it was. I saw a video and the gentleman pretty much went,
Benny,
we're all going to be nuked tomorrow by my gas masks. And I spat my tea clean across the living room.
Poor old Willow.
Fright the life out of Willow. Literally, it was one of those spontaneous ha 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 ha. Me, I can't believe what I'm hearing. So I thought, do you know what? There's so much balderdash, really, isn't it? I only said the wrong word, balderdash out there. So I decided to take it back a step. We'll start with this and we'll progress through the systems and through the threats, the issues, and ways that I would use to approach it.
Male cow effluent.
Same thing with the little video I did this week where I was saying about people squaremongering. Now, it wasn't aimed at people that are talking.
You said squaremongering.
Scaremongering.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, squaremongering. That's TBI again. That wasn't really aimed at anybody in particular, but there seems to be a lot of videos out just lately going, I went camping in the woods last night and I was scared.
Yeah.
Right. That's not an issue with that. And I have no issue with people saying, I was out, something happened, somebody was out there, wasn't comfortable, pulled out. That's not an issue. But there's some that are just blatantly.
Have you got a punch?
And I'm going to say, I'm going to swear now, if you have small children around you, put your fingers in a row. There's some that are just blatantly bollocks. Okay? And I don't think that helps. I think the genuine being cautious and being careful, and I am quite a gutsy, ballsy type guy. I go out into the environments and I've been all over the place in lots of different environments. It's never really freaked me out. Okay? I have had situations where I've been out and I've thought, do you know what? I'm really just not comfortable with this. I'm not happy with it. And in those situations, I've moved myself to somewhere where I am more comfortable, more happy, or I feel the threat has been removed. Yes, that was young Willow earlier on today.
Well.
And I would always suggest that it's common sense. And if you live in an environment or a country where you do have a threat and a risk, be it large predators, be it maybe a large population of maybe aggressive people, then yes, be sensible about it. But in the UK, I keep seeing it again and again and again. And really and truthfully, it's not helping, is it? When we're all trying to enjoy what we do and spread the joy of it and say, go out there and get pleasure from it. Go out there and enjoy it because it's a wonderful experience. To have this constant fear-mongering really doesn't help our cause. And it will drive young people and it will put people off. And that's a real shame. That is a real shame. The other thing that concerns me is there are, how can I put this? No, there is no other way of putting it. Weirdos out there that will see videos like that and go, that's a good idea. I'm going to go and have a creep round the woods tonight, see if I can freak somebody out. Right? Because there are strange individuals that think like that. So again, doesn't help the cause, does it?
No.
Because it puts a thought in their mind. Let's go creep out some campers. So again, that's where I go. And if I live, and I will be honest with you, if I lived in America or I lived somewhere where I could,
wild boar, hog, gators, but
exactly that. And if I left somewhere where there was that threat, I would take a sidearm with me. I would be carrying a sidearm, okay? Because there is that large predator threat there. You know, you get pulled out of your tent in the early hours of the morning by a black bear or a grizzly bear. It's no good you going, excuse me, chap, do you mind? One is trying to get some sleep in his tent. That's damn done. It's not sporting. And let me just take my cricket bat and give you a thwack across the nose with it. Not going to work, is it? So again, we have to be rational, sensible. So it wasn't aimed at actually being negative. What I was trying to just say to people is have a think about your videos.
Yeah, because, you know, some people, it's quite a shock to the system trying out trying camping for the first time. And if they, so-and-so said that, you know, you got to watch out. I mean, we all know, well, most of us know that a fox scream can sound like a child or a woman.
Yeah.
And what a wild deer can make some really strange noises. And, you know, the most dangerous thing you want to get is a squirrel dropping something from a height on your head.
The UK, and it also hides the real threats in the UK, the real risks in the UK, which is things like, as Caroline should point out, things like deadfall, things like getting up, panicking, running through the woods late at night. And as I've said in the past, and I have experienced this, not done it myself, but actually had to deal with the situation where somebody's got up panicking in the night, has run into a pine tree and impaled themselves on a small branch. Okay, we've all been in these woods where you'll see those
Evening
pine
Lake District
branches
Outdoors.
quite low down. They're dry, they're hard, they're pointed quite often, and the person impaled themselves on that. So fear is not something you want to increase or include out there. And again, it's the mindset thing. You might have only joked about it, but it will play on somebody's mind. If they're out there, they suddenly hear a fox scream and they've never heard that before in their life. That's the sort of thing that's going to make them jump up, panic, go home, and never go to the woods again. Gives them a few stories down the pub, but that's it. So we don't want to do that. Yeah,
I think
right.
life is about learning things, and if you have a negative, a negative experience, then
it doesn't
it's a
help.
shame. No, yeah.
And I'm sure some of my lads up in Scotland, they can tell. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's about the only place in the UK you are going to come across an animal that is at risk to you, is a danger to you, and then only really in the rut, and that's the red stags. In the rut, they can become aggressive, but out of all the Scottish campers we have on here, I doubt if any of them have actually had a situation where they've been attacked or cornered or threatened by a red deer stag. The most aggressive thing I think I've ever found out in the woods where I am is those ants when I was stopping up with sticks.
Sticks.
Damn things were forming up in groups.
In this country, you do get the odd row that is they call them killer, not killers.
The murders.
Murdered one, and all it is when the horns have come up on the roe deer, it's usually in the first couple of years, isn't it? They're straight. There's no, because a roe deer has the horns are like that, but these ones are just a spike, and they're called murderers because if they start attacking each other in the rut, then it was they're likely to impale one another and they're more likely to kill the other deer. But they're not, unless you're going to get in, you see your two fighting and you get right in the middle of it, you're not going to get that. I
mean, we have had ourselves a situation where I was called out to deal with a roe deer that was in a road, been clobbered by a car. And at the time, as well as doing the humane dispatch, I was also assisting with a rescue centre. And their policy was with the deer, get them into the back of the Land Rover, hood them, bind them, get them into the back of the Land Rover, get them back, and they would try and help them rehabilitate and re-release them. Okay, and I had a situation where I had a deer, and this was completely my own fault. I believe the deer was gone, out, had it, no more. It was a deceased, defunct deer. But to be careful, I bound its legs with tape.
And I was in the back of the Land Rover with it.
Threw it in the back, and I had an old Series 3 lightweight then. Threw it in the back of the lightweight with Kaz, and she was in the back of the lightweight. I can't remember why. I think we had somebody in the front. And we drove away.
I was there just in case it was.
Oh, just in case, yeah. And this thing came round. It revived.
And even though its four legs I was getting kicked as.
Now, normally in that situation, knowing it was deceased or believing it was to be deceased, what I would have done if it would have been somewhere quiet and discreet, I would have necked it. Okay. And unfortunately, in the place we were was on the edge of a built-up town with traffic everywhere, and the police were pretty much like, no, just get it gone with you. So we drove up the road, and we were intending to go up round the corner, neck it, clean it, sort it out. And unfortunately, this thing came round, and the first thing it did was it kicked free of the tape. Now, Kaz has been around these things, and she is sensible. She knows what to do, which is literally, as fast as humanly possible, get myself away from this animal. It's one of the mistakes people quite often make, even with small species of deer, even a muntjac, where they look at it and they go, it's not going to be a big, dangerous thing, it's done. Well, when these things come round, they are powerful. Those back legs especially are immensely powerful, and them hooves are like daggers. If it starts to lash and it catches you, It will lay you open like you wouldn't believe. And Kaz managed to get control of the animal. She got control of it as best she could. I got to a stop as fast as possible.
Well, I got my feet up on the
Yeah.
metal where
Yeah.
you got the seating area at the back of the
Yeah.
lightweight. So
I got stopped as fast as possible. We got the thing out and
it gone.
it gone.
Yeah.
It literally, as soon as it touched earth out the back of the land, and it was, it didn't even drop the tailgate, just reach over, grab what I could, and hold it out away from her. And as soon as it hit the ground, bang, it was gone. Went with a limp. Hopefully it survived. Quite often they don't. Quite often they run off 3 or 4 miles. The shock will overtake them and they collapse. Hopefully it made it. But then that's the sort of thing that can happen. So that's where your risks do lie. And it does lie in those sort of interactions with things. And I would always say to any of you, if you're out there, you find a deer at the side of the road, okay, unless it is definitely 100% and you know what you're doing, gone, don't put it in the car with you. Okay, I've had several instances over the years where I've been called out to deal with situations where people have picked up injured wildlife, thrown it in the back of the car, thinking I'm going to take it to the vets or I'm going to save it
Badger.
or I'll have it tomorrow. I'll tell the story of the badger in a minute, and later on it's come round. That was another one that it wasn't funny at the time, was it? Because it was 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm in bed. The phone goes, "Hello, it's Surrey Police here. Could you please attend a possible humane dispatch in a little place near us called Normandy, little village on quite a fast stretch of road, but it's very quiet at night." I said, "Yeah, no problem. Can you give me the details?" They give me the details. I said, "Police are in attendance. Can you get out there ASAP?" "Yeah, no problem." Got up, grabbed my clothes, grabbed a gun, grabbed the ammunition, grabbed the paperwork, 'cause it has to be signed, and took off. And I drove down there, and when I got there, what I was confronted with was and this is back in the 80s, was a police panda car with its blue light on, parked up in the road, and about 25, 30 yards in front of it was a little Austin Mini, mini car. Yeah. And this little Mini was doing that. And I sort of got out and walked up to the police officer, and he said, "Who are you?" And I introduced myself, humane dispatch, showed him the license and all the rest of it. And he said, "Yeah, it's a badger. It's in the Mini there. It's in the Mini." And I looked up, and this Mini's doing that. And I thought, well, what the hell? So I walked down, had a look, and sure enough, this badger had destroyed the inside of this car. It had gone through the seats, vinyl seats, destroyed them, shredded them. The steering wheel was a mess. This thing was trying to get out through the doors, couldn't understand the windows. It was going potty. And all I did was reach down, grab the door handle, open the door, and the first thing the badger did was took off. That was it. Straight across the road, through the hedge, gone. And I walked back to the police officers, looked at him and went, "Why didn't you open the door?" And he said, "Well, I didn't know what to do, mate." He said, "Honestly, I just looked at it, didn't know what to do." At which point he took the car owner out of the car, which turned out to be a little old lady who I would suggest was probably in her 80s. And she looked at me and I said, "What happened?" She said, "Well, I came down through part of the village and I run over the badger." She walked back and it was still breathing. So I thought, well, I'll take him to the vet. I'll take him to the vets in the morning. I'll put him in the car, leave him in the car overnight, and take him to the vets. And I was like, right. So I dragged it to the car, which must have been some effort for the old girl. She dragged it to the car, and apparently, as she was driving down the road there, this badger being on the passenger seat next to her, the thing came round. But I run over a badger. It's not a happy animal by any means. And at which point she did the sensible thing, which was stop and got out. But she shut the door. And she then contacted the police and got them to dispatch somebody out, led to me coming out. The end of the story, which I always find was quite funny, was when the old girl turned around to me and said, and you're from where? And I said, "I've been contacted by the local authority to come out and sort it out. I'm the humane dispatch guy." She asked me that could I give her my insurance details so she could pass them on to her insurance assessor and they could claim off of me, which I had to then explain to her, no, because badgers don't carry an insurance policy. They don't have fully comp or third party. So in which case it was something she'd have to take up with her insurance company. Didn't impress her at all. She was quite angry about it. But lucky enough, police officer was there, and I was able to just back off.
Yeah, a happy badger is a badger that you give peanut butter to because they absolutely love peanuts, don't they?
Yeah, they do love
We've
peanut
had a couple
butter.
of people while you've been talking saying that they enjoyed your stories.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you
That
very
was
much.
way
Yeah.
back.
Oh, thank you very, very much. I was a bit nervous about doing them. I love listening to storytellers. It's something I've always admired, is somebody's ability to tell a good tale. Yarps especially. I mean, you sit around the fire with Yarps in the evening and he tells a tale and you're just drawn in. And I've always loved that sort of thing, but never felt that I'm really that good at trying to get it across. I'd rather write them and pass them on to a good storyteller. But if you enjoyed them, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, El Crockett. What are they scared of? Perhaps there's a hedgehog out there with that's got
a knife.
Yeah, a knife, or is a ninja.
Flamethrower.
It's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get in your bag, take all your stuff, or just get in your bag so it can go back home with you and take over your house.
So it's Viet Cong hedgehogs with
like
a grenade
those
in each hand.
dodos that you had that the
guinea fowl.
Yeah, guinea fowl. That's it.
Yeah, that was another funny one. That was driving into work in the early hours.
Bushcrafters are a strange breed, aren't they? You know, they talk to themselves into little screens. Are they bushcrafters, or they whittle spoons and then they sort of eat out of little tins? They don't eat off plates.
We pray to Tinder. I've seen it so many times doing bow drill.
I'm sure if you go to some of the woods, these people going, he's like going to find one cat.
Please ignite.
Yeah, I only want your left sock because the right one's the snag.
Yeah. So thank you very much for the story. For those of you that have seen the stories and enjoyed them, and if you want to see more, let me know. And if you're not so interested in it, again, let me know. And then it points me a direction. It's something I can throw out there now and again. Both those stories are my own. Both from my own imagination and mine. Like I said to you on the video, the first one I told is based on a very, very old legend, which I found many years ago, and I adapted that pretty much to make my own story. I took bits and pieces and floated it along. The second one, I wrote that last year for Halloween. So again, I retold it this year, changed it up slightly because when I told it last year and I looked at it back, I thought, but again, that's the beauty of storytelling. And anybody that wants to take any story I've told and retell it, change it, alter it, make it your own, do so. Right? There's no copyright on my stories because all stories and all tales are there to be passed on. They're there to be enjoyed and to be passed on generation after generation after generation. It's the idea of them. That's the beauty and pleasure of it. Hopefully I've created something that somebody will pass on.
Who's going to admit that this morning or last night they forgot to change the clocks back, and it was only when they looked at their phones that they realised the phones and the clocks in the house were different?
Or the pillock. I won't say what pillock it was. What pillock? The first thing this morning, when talking to one of his best mates, his wife, and that, was trying to explain something he got completely wrong about time, space-time. I didn't. I won't say who it was, but a person completely messed it up, possibly me, and invented a time-space dimension where last night we lost an hour rather than gaining an hour. But there we go. I do apologise, Sasha. You were right. I'm just a very simple Cornishman. And I apologise to Sticks. That's what it goes. Badger, how you doing, mate? Hope you're good. Yeah. So I think you've been with us before, but for anybody that is new to the channel, might be watching up there thinking, what the hell's going on here? Okay, I'm Mick. I run a channel, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, which is based on 30 plus years of being outside. Now, I'm not an expert. I've never claimed to be an expert. I would never tell you I was an expert. In actual fact, I object to and have an allergy to said experts. What I have done is I've made Being outdoors and survival, especially my passion for many, many years, it is something
Thanks, Benny.
I've studied and practiced in many, many places. And I also have a love of being outdoors. I grew up in a very rural environment and had the pleasure as a small lad of having that ability to just disappear on the farm and enjoy it and learn, surrounded by other very rural people who passed on knowledge, all sorts of things from poaching to gamekeeping, all the way through. I grew up with cattle, horses, wonderful childhood. And that led me into later life, being able to share those experiences and knowledge with other people in the armed forces and in other roles that I've done. And give me a chance to exchange knowledge, information, techniques, and methods. And I'm constantly learning, constantly mastering new skills. So my goal is to do that. But the Sunday night social started off as a way, really, of me just trying to link with other people, and developed into a social evening. This is an evening down a pub. We can talk about almost anything on the channel. On a Sunday night, with the exception of politics and religion, because that just causes arguments. Those are your own and personal. Keep them to yourself. We just let our hair down, what hair I've got left, and enjoy ourselves, relax, have a beer. And like I say, Sunday social. It's like being down a pub with your mates, having a natter, talking about what you've been up to, what you found funny in the world, anything
Benny
that you
was
would like.
just saying he watched one of your old videos popped up about a year ago, and he said how much your how much your confidence has come on in leaps and bounds.
Cheers, Benny.
And how is Graham?
Yeah. And how's
the lovely Graham?
Yeah. Right. And again, to anybody that's starting new in YouTube, this confidence thing, I come across really confident. I'm not. Kaz will tell you, and those that know me will tell you, I'm actually quite a shy and retiring person. When I first started, I had to really sort of push myself. That's why I've been teetotal most of my adult life. And I started just having a glass of cider or a beer on a Sunday night because it helped me just let go of those inhibitions a little bit and relax. But through doing YouTube, it's really helped me. It's helped me in my confidence. It's helped me in my approach. It's helped me bounce a little bit more. But that's more down to you guys. That's more down to the guys that comment, the guys that chat, especially you guys that join us on a Sunday night. Okay. You're the guys that really help. And yes, Badger, you're very right. You see me wearing my T-shirt, lest we forget.
What are you doing?
It's coming up to November. We'll soon be into the month of November. And although for some people it is just a day to remember, I like to think of the whole month of November as a time of remembrance. I have my own memories and thoughts and people I think of in that time, as we all do. And it don't have to be military. You don't necessarily have to be British or a member of the Manchester Armed Forces. Remembrance is exactly what it is. Remembrance. We remember all the fallen of our conflicts and other conflicts at this time and ongoing conflicts. Okay. War is not something I'll ever glorify. It is misery, and it is the ordinary man from whatever nation, whatever background, doing what he's told to do or doing what he believes is right. Okay, that's as political as I'm going to get to that. So, yes, you will occasionally see me.
You might, Benny, with your Nicky's slippers. Our dogs always used to chew my shoes. They left him alone, and the boys, didn't they?
Yeah. Socks is his thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, socks. Bald socks. You ball the socks up, put in a drawer, he steals them.
Unsung heroes, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And, yeah, all peoples as well, not just military, civilians, the unsung heroes, the firemen, the ambulance crews, the police officers, the civilian staff, something that, and again, in the UK doesn't always get mentioned. Those civilian staff that work behind the scenes, the
ladies that flew the planes for the pilots,
fly the planes,
the
armourers, the people that worked in the factories, right down to the parachute packers, the range staff, the even the guy that sweeps the corridors and the offices at night, they all do a role. Maybe not as dangerous, but they all do a role and dedicate themselves to the job, which allows the guy on the front line to do what he needs to do. Yes. Anyhow, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get on to some happier things. Trail apps. Now, I was doing an interesting one tonight. My mate Owen,
what are you eating?
Was going up a mountain near him. And when he was leaving, it was light. There was a possibility that it was going to be dark when he was coming back. And he shared a trail app with me. And unfortunately, I've taken it off. So if Owen's on here, he can fill you in. But it allowed me to actually follow him on his route all the way through. And I was able to bring it up on satellite, which I prefer myself rather than map, and literally watch his progress. So just keep an eye on him. I had the phone going to one side, and I was able to just look up.
Glimpse, is that?
That's it,
yeah.
Glimpse. Thank you, Sticks. I was able to just look up, see that he was still moving. He was okay. His location. Didn't need to communicate. It was just a case that I could just keep an eye on and see he was okay. And it was so easy to use and absolutely brilliant. Those of you that do get out there, I would suggest you go and have a look at that. Sticks has put the name of it up there, Glimpse. I believe it's a free app, but it worked absolutely fantastically. Now, Owen was in Ireland and I'm in Hampshire in England. As the crow flies, we were 264 miles apart, and I was just able to monitor him the whole time. If something had happened or he stopped moving for 15, 20 minutes, I could try phoning him, or if I needed to, then get hold of the emergency services and give them a pin for exactly where he was. Absolutely brilliant. So, yeah. Yeah, OS Maps. I always liked OS Maps, but what I liked was the fact that this app on the phone, and I'm not a big phone app fan, but it was easy enough for an idiot like me to use. I'm going to set it up for me and Cass, so when I'm out, she can literally just go on her phone and go, is the old boy all right? Is he still moving? Yeah, that's where he is. He's okay. Simple as that.
I don't know if you want to be tracking me. I'll be out on my big mobility scooter. You'll be known on speeding.
Daz, to be honest with you, I don't know the full details. I was just blown away with how well and how quickly it works. And
best to ask Life's a Hobby, Owen, because
I have looked at these apps in the past, and a lot of them I found were delayed. That it would update every 10, 15 minutes. And you guys and I know 10, 15 minutes, you can traverse quite a bit of ground, or you could be well off the beaten track. For what
that's
I saw,
a good
this,
idea. Owen said he'll do a video next week all about it. That's a good idea. Then you can share that on.
Owen, yeah. So Owen's going to do us all a video on it and show us it. Absolutely brilliant. It is something I would recommend to everybody out there. Yes, maps are brilliant. Yes, location beacons are brilliant, but you've got to set that off to actually let somebody know where you or that you're in trouble. This just gives your partner, your friends, that reassurance. We were quite concerned for him because he was going up and it was quite rough, and he was saying it's looking a bit naughty. In actual fact, you had the common sense to get to a point, assess the situation, and go, Index, this isn't worth it. I'm coming down. Okay. But it just meant we could monitor him through his walk. And in a way, actually join him on it. I was having a good look around the mountain, looking at the forestry blocks and things like that.
Glimpse. He uses, he shared his location because Glimpse, he has problems with that when his screen locks up.
Okie doke. Right, but we'll look forward to seeing that, Owen, mate, and seeing the video there and learning something for it, something we can all pick up on.
Yeah, and this week I will try. I will get my video done. I've not been feeling so great this week, so I've had a lot of sort of downtime that I've lots of going at. So I'll try and get it done this week.
Takes me to my next one on my list, missions. So next week I've got a prepping video to knock up for you guys, and I think this one I'm going to take it from another basic one, but I'm going to take it from the home to the car. Sort of things I choose to carry in the car, have with me in the car at all times. I'll take you out to the car,
and show you them. Added such brilliant bits.
Yeah.
Haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
The extra bits. You don't. What? That's a good. I never thought of that
right,
one.
there is going to be a separate video. Originally, I was going to mash it in, but there's going to be a separate video on tips given to me by you guys in the comments. Because there are so many, and I'm literally going to run a list.
Three
and
words. Lake
I'll
District.
attribute those tips to you guys that have given them to me.
Because
they were brilliant.
Yeah, we use the 3 words.
Yeah.
Like District is.
So
it's good.
My first mission this week. My second mission, if I can, is to get out with Mac. Third mission is to give Kaz a hand doing her video this week. So that's my 3 missions this week. My mission statement is out there. Takes me to planning. Well, that comes in really with missions and sorting out the week. That gets me down to the weather.
Yeah, we're going to have a bit warmer, then it's suddenly going to get really cold.
You can't odds it, can you?
Yeah.
You really can't odds it. You sit there, get up in the morning, look out the window, go, glorious day. 15 minutes later, it's coming in sideways.
Well, I did see the comet, the one that's supposed to be the second moon.
Yeah.
I saw that last week, about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I've actually seen it. So I haven't got to wait 70,000 years to come back around again.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the weather conditions at the moment, we're at that time of year. Wherever you are in the world, you're probably like we are in the UK. It's up, it's down, it's left, it's right. Don't trust it. I know the weather has been a little bit stable in the UK the last sort of 48 hours, but don't trust it. Prep your gear. Yeah, have that spare waterproof jacket in your bag or whatever, just to, it's like if they say it's going to be great, you get up, you look out, you go, oh, stunning, go for a walk. And then halfway through your walk, down it comes. Or like me earlier this week, I go out to do my 10 miler. I dress appropriately for it. I look at the temperature here, got outside, and first lap in, I had to dive in here, swap jackets.
Owen, he life's a hobby. You have that your tin in your car for things, so in case you forget.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing to.
Yeah, just have that box of odds.
I've actually, because the weather's changed now, I've actually put a soft hat in the under glove box. We kind of CRV's got like 2 glove boxes in it. I've got that, and I've got also different little like travel sickness pills, that sort of thing. And I made sure I put a comb in there, and there's a lighter, and there's
drop of water. It's 500 mils of water in a sealed bottle in a non-lit area, so that it's not hit by sunlight.
Make sure that you've got extra stuff for Willow. You've got extra treats and bits.
Little bits and pieces just to make the situation better if you get stuck or you have a problem. And even then, sometimes it's just knowing you got it makes you feel a bit better.
Exactly, Badger. I mean, he ripped at a woman and said, "Oh, I've heard this person said," and yeah, we knew it. But I actually slept through it. I didn't know nothing about it till the morning when I looked out my bedroom window, and we live in a sort of house with several other people, and I looked outside, and the lad from upstairs, there was the lilac tree laying across the bonnet of his car.
I was on duty in the guard room that night, and that was a hell of a night. I was basically up right the way through it on duty, trying to keep the camp secure, safe, and happy all night. That was an experience and a half. And I've got to be honest with you, although it was terrifying at times, I loved every moment of it.
When we, afterwards, when it was all cleared up, and a couple of years later, we drove down towards Arundel and the South Downs, and to sit. I remember these avenue of trees used to go, and it was like a cave almost, because the tops of the trees met above the road, but it wasn't. They weren't there anymore. It was just. Yeah, it's just open fields. It was,
thousands of years worth of growth gone in one night. It was incredible.
You got it peeing down, have you? Oh dear, Benny.
That takes me to my next one. Comrades, friends, buddies, community. Build that around you. build that around you. I'm always coming back to it. Build a community, build friends.
High winds and trees.
It's your best methodology in any survival situation is have those people around you know that you can trust and love. Okay, because to be lonely is also one of the factors that is going to affect you as much as hypothermia or anything else. It drops your morale. Okay, so have those people around you. They're going to keep you going. They're going to give you a reason to keep going. They're going to be the people who put their arms around your shoulders when you need it. They're going to be the ones to keep you busy and help you through it. And likewise, you them. Okay, as well as just in day-to-day life. Because again, when we talk about survival, we're always talking about extreme situations. But survival isn't just that. Survival is day-to-day. It's what we do every single day just to get through the day, whether it be getting up, making a brew, slice of toast, making eggs, maybe dealing with your bills, work. All those things in your day-to-day life can have a negative impact on you. And survival is about getting through that. Anybody that makes it through the day has had to have that process in their mind, or sometime has had to hopefully go to the love of their dog or their partner or their friends, because without that, you will struggle always.
I haven't noticed Ray on here tonight. I know the last time we spoke to him, poor devil was suffering from COVID. So hopefully, Ray, if you're watching this on catch up, you're feeling better.
Yeah, hope so. Hope so.
Mm.
It is, Daz, one foot in front of the other. But again, with the support of friends, it helps. Sunday night for me, I look forward to Sunday night all through the week. No matter what's thrown at me, health-wise, problem-wise, it's all right. Sunday night, I can forget about it for a couple of hours and get on with it. And that little mental break, that couple of hours mental break, is so therapeutic. It just gives the heart, the mind, the soul a chance to go and rest and deal with whatever's thrown at me. You're right there, Lee. There are more and more people in a survival situation, and come winter, it is hard. The other thing is winter, isn't it? People that are affected by was it seasonal?
Yeah, sad.
Seasonal
Something
deficit.
Yeah.
People are affected by that, and it's whether it's down to a lack of vitamin D, just a lack of sunlight, or what. It's out there. I'm not a scientist, but I know some people are very, very affected by it. And again, with the love and help of friends, it'll get them through.
That's it. Seasonal affected.
Cheers, Stealth. Yeah, thank you very much, T. Yeah. And so again, keep an eye on your friends. If you see somebody's getting a bit low or getting a bit down, maybe suggest them take some. As my doctor's done with me recently, you need to take some vitamin D. I did a blood test. You're short on vitamin D. Get some vitamin D into you. And I noticed the effect within days. It started picking me up a little bit more. Started feeling a little bit more buoyant.
What we use is a company called Sea Lions, as in the sea lions, and they do vitamin D tablets, and I think it's a.
Yeah.
You get a year's supply, and it's only about £6, I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's 300 odd tablets.
It's
one a day.
It's caring for one another, looking out for one another. It's what helps us to get by. All right. Next subject for me, YouTube views and times.
Oh, great.
Lives and shorts. So I had a couple of questions this week from people talking about the views. They didn't feel they were getting the views that they should be, and they were concerned in that. Now, one of the things I'll say to you is I try not to concentrate too much on views, subscribers. You may have noticed I've stopped doing subscriber giveaways and things like that. And one of the reasons being, it meant I was focusing on that side of things. And when I started focusing on that side of things, it started to impact on how I was creating. I took a step back and actually went, do you know what? Am I doing this for YouTube? Am I doing this to make millions and become the next Demolition Ranch? Or am I doing this because I enjoy doing it? And it came back to the answer came back to me. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. Now, when it comes to views, likes, feedback, and so on, the only thing that works for me is to keep chucking out the content, a lot of content. My suggestion to people that feel they're not getting the views and that, chuck out lots of shorts, chuck out lots of stuff, make loads. All right.
You just do shorts with some video with pictures.
Yeah, I don't feel personally YouTube doesn't care. No, that's the wrong way of saying it. There are thousands of us, thousands of creators. They're not that bothered about you as an individual. Okay.
Not until you start getting to 500,000.
Yeah. Not until you're right up there. So at the end of the day, the people, what you've got to do is appeal to the people and get the people to see you. And the only way to do that is chuck out loads and loads of content. And even with things like shorts, if you think about it, in any 1 hour's period of time in a day, a 24-hour day, there are tens of thousands of videos and shorts uploaded to YouTube. And YouTube literally throws them out there. Now, 10, 15 years ago, you put a video out and it might be at the top of the search band for hours, sometimes days. And that meant loads of people see it. Now there's so much stuff going out there quickly, all the time, that you might go out there, your video's up there, it's at the highlight for seconds, and then it's starting to drop down the order. Okay. Now that's no knock on what you're doing and what you're creating. That is just how the system works. It's become bigger and bigger and bigger. There's so many people doing it.
Owen said, he said that a lot of times, if you during the summer and that, and come into some early autumn, the views are not so much. But as soon as it gets really cold and people are stuck indoors more,
they're watching YouTube.
Then,
yeah. Once they've gone through Netflix and Prime and watched the movies that they hadn't seen in the summer and that, they start getting bored and going, what do I do now? I'll just have a flick through YouTube. And the other thing is, it's subject and content. So there is so much subject and content out there now. Our little field is a tiny little segment. When you look at the parameters, if you go and look on YouTube and you say, what are the top 5 things people are watching on YouTube? We don't even come into it. We don't even put a foot through the door. Things like cars and stuff like that, they're all up there. Sport, that's up there. Makeup, that's up there. Cookery, that's up there. We're not even on the board because, again, when you look at the community of, say, the British Isles, how many people are into wild camping, bushcraft, and so on, in the general scheme of things, it's not huge. So I tried with mine to diversify a little bit. That's why I do a bit of prepping, I do a bit of bushcraft, I do, what I do is because I try and just spread it out a little bit, and in the hope that somebody who may be not into what I'm doing sees one of my videos and goes, oh, quite like this guy.
When you did the couple of ones walks down the canal,
yeah,
he said, I don't think people are going to be interested in this, but you were pleasantly surprised that people were, because it's getting outside, but you also got the pillboxes and the dragon's teeth you see when you're going along.
It's again, so it's try and diversify within what you do as much as you can, and it's a flip of the coin, really. It's luck. I mean, my subscriber count did not go up for months. In actual fact, it dropped at one point. It just didn't go anywhere, and I was sat there and I looked at it and went, oh well, what the hell? I just keep doing what I'm doing, because on the Sunday social, there's those 20, 30 guys that join me, like what I do. I'm doing it for me and I'm doing it for them. If it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, what on earth, So again, don't let it take you. It did me in the beginning when I first started out. It hurt me. I was like, I'm doing all this hard work and all this effort, and it's not getting appreciated. No, don't think of it like that. Okay, because the system isn't set up like that. You're just one of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of creators. Do it for you. Right? Do it because you love it. Right? And what you'll find is, if you're lucky enough like me, you'll find there's absolutely amazing people out there like you guys that will go, I like him, I get on with him, I'd like to meet him, I'll follow him, and they join you, and you build a community. And from that community, other people will come in,
Yeah, I think
other people will join, and it grows.
They said, is it Optimum is it 20 minutes? Half an hour?
Yeah, 20 minutes. I tend to find, for me, the videos that work best for me are 20 minutes. But saying that, I have put out videos up to an hour that have done okay, and there are other guys that do it.
It's the content of the
content, personality, how you can hold somebody. I mean, nobody wants to look at this for more than 20 minutes.
Some videos you see, the long ones, they just made that video and it's just gone, and it's everything. It's like 10 minutes of that same bug walking across a plate.
Yeah.
And it
yeah, as Benny says there, it's the luck of the draw, really. It is. Kiwi, 37 subs. Hey, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. John Kenny's made a suggestion there. Mickey and Max outdoor makeup tips and tricks.
Funny you've been asked about doing the camouflage thing the other day.
Well, we were discussing makeup just the other day.
You'll do fine, Kat. You'll do fine. She's got to do a vlog on tourism in Blackpool.
Oh, you'll do fine, sweetheart. You've got it nailed. You've got it absolutely nailed. The main thing I would say to you is enjoy it. Okay. It's a funny old thing for me. Is every video I do, I get there wherever I'm doing it, find the spot, sit there, panic about it for 5 minutes. I panic about it. I sit there, I lay my kit out, I move my kit around, I adjust the camera, put the camera up, take the camera down, walk around looking through the camera. Where's the sunlight? Where's the noise and that? Because I don't understand an ounce of this technology. And then eventually I normally get to the point where I just go, oh, sod it. And I crack into it. And I find once I start talking, once I start engaging, it works for me. And I can tell you that.
He said he watched it. If you did a camo makeup video, he'd watch it.
And the truth of the matter is, when I'm speaking to that camera, I'm speaking to you guys. This is how my mindset works with it. I set the camera up and I just think, this is Sunday night. It's my mates out there. And I just chat. And I talk through it. I tried doing sophisticated, clever stuff right back in the beginning, and it didn't work for me. I'm not that person. There are others that can do it, and they can do it really well. Find what works for you. Lake District Outdoors. Hello, mate. How you doing?
He's out with Chris tonight.
You're out with Chris. Oh, fantastic. I hope you guys are having an absolutely stunning night up there. The weather's good for you.
Yeah, because I'm disabled, so by watching people going out on their adventures, I'm going on their adventure too. But I don't get the treats, but I don't get wet and cold.
And I will say this to you. So guys like Life's a Hobby, Sticks Outdoors, Benny Bushcraft, Kiwi Outdoors Apprentice, Lake District guys, Janet and that. Caroline sits and watches your videos with me. She sits there and
Roman Ray.
And Roman Ray, all you guys, she sits and watches you and she thoroughly enjoys it. And she often sits there and says, it's fantastic. Lake District, you when you canoe out to that island sometimes, Kaz sits there and she's saying, I'm so glad they do it because I'd never get to set foot on that island myself. I would never be able to go there. And by you going and doing it, you're taking her there. You're giving her that respite.
I used to be able to do it, but I can't now. It's
and for a lot of disabled people, housebound people, and people with other difficulties, you give them that. You give them that escape. You take them away from the pain a bit. So thank you very much. It's one of the things we can do as YouTubers. We sometimes get so caught up in the views, the likes, shares, and things like that we forget that there are people out there that we are their escape. We are their time in the wild.
Yeah, this week he found something you were showing the others that because I've got the perfect thing for Kaz outdoors, and it was like a little mini tank. You know, just one seater, just me and Willow sitting there. And the best thing of all, it's got a paintball gun on it in the barrel. Yeah, I can just see me perfectly. Just
I'll be getting those 10 milers done. You should be chasing me around the woods with it.
Exactly, Badger. You know,
exactly that, Badger.
Some people are stuck in flats or stuck. You know, you can't always get out and about to these places.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. One of the earliest videos I did, and it was a terrible video, was me walking around a local park. And it's a nice little park. It's a bit of a nature reserve. It used to be a farm. The local authority converted it into an outdoor space for people.
It's a bram shop with the carved animals.
Yeah, it's got carved animals, benches, picnic areas. And I was learning. So it's a very, I don't even think it's up there anymore. I think I took it down. It was very dry, very boring, learning to talk to the camera type video. And I uploaded it and I got a comment on that. And the comment just literally said, "Thank you. I'm housebound in a tower block. I haven't been able to leave this place for ages. I'm trapped in here. For a little while, you got me outside. Thank you." And that choked me. I sat here, this old war dog sat here in tears, realising that I'd had that impact on somebody. And that's why I'll always come back to that, because, again, it's not just because of Kaz, it's because I suddenly realised there are other people in far worse situations. And we can.
Oh, I lots of alpaca.
Do that.
My granddaughter wants a tractor.
An alpaca.
Yeah, alpaca.
Alpaca. You don't
it's
want
like
an alpaca.
Dan used to say biscotti, didn't he? He never said spaghetti.
Yeah, alpacas are like the llamas.
Yeah.
They've got a nasty habit of spitting. Yeah. There's Lee Michelle saying there. Yeah. And
I love colours. Nature's colours at the moment are amazing.
Beautiful.
The reds and the golds and the browns. And you get a tree that's transforming from its green to its autumn colours. And it's
also brings in a frustration for us, doesn't it? It brings in a frustration. You take me, I'm 59 years old. I'm 60 next August. And I see so many people's videos now, and there are so many places, and I sit there and I go, "Oh, I'd love to visit there. Love to visit there." And if I looked at it actually with sense, I'm like, never. If I visited every single place on a different day,
Copper Beach tree,
I'm going to run out of time.
Can you fish the top section of the Blackwater?
Yes, Mac, I believe you can, but I think that's under Farnham Angling now. Last time I walked down there, somebody said to me it was under Farnham Angling, but you can do it on a day ticket, I believe.
Yeah,
not that I've ever seen a bailiff up there.
But you still get all the different colours, but the holly's still red, and especially when it's got its berries out as well.
Badger, there's a place near us called the Meon Valley. It's a very, very popular motorcycle and driving route. Runs from Petersfield through to Winchester. And there's a section along there where they've actually got a row of copper beaches for about, that must be about a quarter of a mile. And this time of year, every time I've gone down there, this time of year, it's one of those where you come around the corner and you just go, wow, look at that. And they're quite big, old, mature copper beaches. Absolutely stunning to see.
Well done, TJ. And Max said where you fished before near the motorway bridge, by the motorway bridge.
Yeah, Mac. I believe that. Yeah, the spot that's famous for its pike, perch, and what else was I used to go fishing for under there? Come on, Mickey. Come on. No, used to do the pike there. Used to get a lot of jack pike there, a lot of perch. Not tench, not barbel.
Roach.
No, muddy fish, like the bottom, eat lobworms by the gallon.
No, he's not. He still ain't. He's blanked on tench. He hasn't got a tench yet.
No, it's still not caught a tench. Come on, spooky fish. They don't like noise. it'll come. Right, if I forget
No, we
about it,
don't get any catfish. We're not. I don't. No, we do. We have got fisheries that got big catfish, but we don't have sort of
Well,
wild. Not really.
We didn't. We've got
Yeah.
them now. They have got into the British waterways. I know Max had a couple of really good ones. It will come to me in a minute. It's actually the only fish in the British Isles that is not recommended for eating. All river fish in the UK, quite pleasant to eat by all accounts. But this was the one fish that's, it was in the old days, people would just toss them back. Predatory fish. Come on, it will come to me in a
When I
minute.
used to live in Cranley, we had a lot of Canadian soldiers during the Second World War staying at Dunsfold Airfield, and they planted an avenue of Canadian maples, and a lot of them are still there now.
Chub, that's the fish. Chub.
Yeah.
I knew it would come to me. There you go, Kaz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, if you can see that, it actually says it's Canadian light horse. When the light horse stayed in Dunsfold, my mum and dad's, the neighbour I had when I was a kid growing up, she used to help them a lot on the camp. So they presented her with this, made up their brass cap badge and the 2 bullets. And she actually presented that she gave it to my mum. And when my mum and dad, when you saw it, you went, oh, wow. So my parents gave it to you. So, yeah.
So they are inert now. They're not live in any
trench
way.
art.
Beautiful bit of trench art. So it takes pride of place to keep
that. Lake District was saying exactly a year on into YouTube, and a year to one and to the day ago we started camping on that island, and we're there again tonight. Fire on, beers on. Right, excellent. Sweet. Well done.
Sweet.
You're on.
Well, you, Chris. Is it just you and Chris, or whoever's with you? Have a stunning night, mate. You deserve it. In the job and the role you do, yeah, you deserve it. Yeah. You have some time for yourselves, guys.
Yeah, you just passed your second year, haven't you?
Yeah, just past my second year. We're just starting our 3rd year as a channel. So again, and it's like a lot of things in life. Do it because you love it, not because you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac. Yeah. I've got to wait a little bit, Mac. I've got a granddaughter that will do a Dan.
Yeah, Dan. I don't like that.
Yeah, it goes. Very short attention span at the moment, and if it's not pirate related
or tractors,
you love this. So for those of you, I've got a lovely little granddaughter. She's 3 now.
Yeah.
Real little blonde cutie. And my oldest son, Chris, yeah, he's very similar to me, and he loves his metal and he likes his pirates and things like that.
Yeah.
So just her latest thing is to come in and go, arr.
She likes pirate metal, dwarf metal, don't she?
Yeah,
the
diggy hole.
Diggy hole, yeah.
So she's wandering around preschool and that.
But it would be a nice idea to go.
Yeah, fishing. It would be nice. Somebody says to
especially when if they catch like your daughter used to Robin when she used to catch fish all the time and you might blank. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So how you doing, Bill? You having a good day? Oh.
Right, Two's asking. He's thinking about making a video whilst on the walk. What kind of cameras do you professionally do? Well, he's got a cheap phone. He uses his phone, the GoPro.
Right. I'll be honest with you, T. I am definitely not a professional. Okay, my friend. So what I started off with, I just used the camera on my Android phone, and to be honest with you, what I found was the easiest method, because I need to see what I'm doing, is I just literally used the screen camera,
Yeah.
held it up into portrait, and did it in portrait. If you want to do a short, you do it that way up. Do it for a minute or 3 minutes and upload it as a short. If you want to do it as a video, do it that way up.
And also, it means that if you can have a break, and you can take some photographs as well, because there's nothing better than seeing all the lovely places people go, as well as, you know, videos.
When I realised it was something I was really going to get into, I saved like stink for a couple of months and sold one of my motorbikes, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that allowed me to, and I want to get a second one. I've got to get a second one because this one's getting a bit ropey now. But I picked myself up a GoPro. This one is the Hero 9. Although I think Owen's got some good advice for anybody that's getting into it. I think it's the Hero 7 is actually the recommended one. What I will say with these is this came with 3 batteries, and I had very quickly went and bought another set of 3 batteries because they don't last long.
And you buy that's media mod for it.
So
it fits into.
So I'll demonstrate it.
Yeah.
So that's the Hero 9 GoPro, and basically what I bought with it, or bought later on, was the media mod, which basically just gave you a slightly improved microphone, and all it does is slide into it, and it's got a better mic on it. That's my setup. That's it. It's fairly basic.
You
fairly
can
simple.
sometimes find them on places like eBay and Facebook Marketplace, where people have bought them and just never used them, or didn't really get on with them, or found that video was not their thing.
And for me, I know some of the guys like Sticks and that can do the editing on the phone. I find that a little bit, my sight's not too good, so I struggle with that. So I actually initially went and bought a really cheap secondhand PC, and learned to do the editing using the Microsoft video app, which was on the PC, standard platform, and then progressed up to Clipchamp, which I know I can hear a lot of people spitting because there's a lot of people don't like Clipchamp, but I found it easy enough for me as a technophobe to use.
It usually
and it's
tells
just
you
play
on
with it.
TJ.
Yeah.
Katrina says thank you. She's been you're helping her, and she's taking notes down. So she's thank you.
Anything I can do to help anybody. The bonus for me is for me it's got to be simple. So basically, my SD card from my camera. If you don't have an SD card reader in your computer, I basically bought one of these little adapters. The SD card goes in that, plug it in the computer, bring up Clipchamp, and then all I do is I import everything, and it puts all the bits of video I've done, and then I can just line them up together and edit them, which sounds really technical, but the way I do it, well, you'd see it yourself if you've never done it before. It is literally watch it. Yeah, happy with it to there, cut that, delete the bit I don't want, move the next bit up to it, and then try and match it up.
That's the bit I find it just mind blowing. Yeah. I got to do some of my filming when I did it the other day, and I was able to sort of pause it and then go back, redo that one, and I got that bit. Yeah. All right. It's just the end.
And I think I mean, Owen's my guru when it comes to editing and things like that, and filming, and I think he will say the same thing and agree with me. It's play with it, enjoy it, and play with it. It's a great hobby, and that's how I look at it. It's my hobby. I get as much fun sometimes out of sitting here playing, doing the editing, shutting myself in the room with the computer and getting all tappy and moving things about, as I do going out and filming.
You used to use the GoPro on the motorbike, didn't you?
Yeah.
As well, you used to have it. You had an attachment to his crash helmet and that as well, so you got on the bike.
Yeah. Roller 822. Yeah. Okie doke. That's for John. Can you note that one for me?
Huh?
Roller 822. Oh, you're already on it. She's already on it. Yeah, and just it's one of those things. It's for years I thought I couldn't do this sort of thing, and
Badger, I like your. I wouldn't say that that your editing is bad.
no,
Yeah.
no. Owen is a guru to it. There's some people that are just geniuses when it comes to editing.
Oh, well, bless
Badger,
you, Owen.
your videos are brilliant, mate. Yeah, you got it. So it's like me. I'm constantly learning. I'm now playing with filters. It's been there. It's been there for the last 2 years on the side of the screen when I'm doing editing. And the other day I got brave enough to go, I wonder what will happen if I click on that. Ooh. And if I click on this, ooh. and again, that is my idea of technology. Even when I'm typing my name in, it's like that. And it's only recently somebody went, Mike, when you type MIC, all your details come up. All you got to do is highlight that, and it will fill the box for you. And I was like, "That's genius." So, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Because I like me taking the pictures. I've got myself a camera that I had a chance to use it. Well, I have taken it with us, but I haven't had the opportunity to really sort of do much with it.
Yeah. See, Owen's got it right, and I'm sorry, Owen. I know I battered your name around a bit there.
Yeah,
maybe
poor
that was
Owen.
that was a bit naughty of me. I shouldn't have just gone. Oh yeah, go see Live Selby. He's a genius. But yeah, he is. He's my guru, and so is Sticks. Funny enough, anything I want to do with my mobile phone, I tend to go with Sticks Outdoors. I regularly Sticks how to do this. Sticks how to do
a
that.
lot with doing your showed you how to do your thumbnails. And that as
Mac showed me how to do thumbnails. So
yeah, it's another thing of learning, isn't it?
It is, and again, it is that thing of play with it. The more you play with it, the better you get. Kiwi, he come to my rescue. That old cheap computer I had was struggling. I then got a second computer, which was an improvement, but that started to struggle, and I was like, I was falling apart. I was like, what's happening? And Kiwi come up and had a look, and basically went, mate, it's not capable of doing what you're trying to get it to do. And of course, like everybody I've spoken to beforehand, like in shops and things, just went, oh yeah, mate, you need to upgrade. You need one of these. But he actually came and went, that's not working because of that, because of this. Took the computer apart and actually showed me that I was actually very close to setting fire to the whole thing. It was cooking itself, and then built me my beast here, and I've never had a problem since.
But Kiwi, you got your old Canon out. Well, use it. I mean, I don't like Canon myself, but horses for courses. I've got Bush and Fuji.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got it all in a little bag. I've got a little travel bag for it. And what I used to do when we used to go off road, I took a camera everywhere with me.
Well, I'm looking next year. I want a second camera. And for a lot of the places I go and a lot of things I do, I've realised that what I need to do, I'm going to get myself an SLR with a video recording capability, because I'm a shooter. Have been a shooter for years. So I'm used to sort of stalking, getting into places, zooming in to get that shot. And I always preach to people that I no longer shoot game with anything other than the camera, because it requires the same skill set. But as I realised the other day, now that the eyes are getting a bit old and getting a bit worn out, I actually need something where I can play with the focus and zoom in. So I'm gonna. I sort of messed up earlier in the year. I thought I'd bought one, only to come home and find that it didn't have.
Didn't do what it wanted to do.
It wouldn't record video.
No.
Great.
My one does.
Yeah.
But yeah. The thing is, it's like all things. Everything's getting smaller. I've got a big camera, the one that I take the moon pictures with, and that is a big camera. But the one I've got now is a good camera. It's pixels is brilliant.
As Derek's just said there, he uses CapCut AI editing. Right, does it all for him, and uses his voice. And again, that's it. It's find what works for you. There are lots of systems out there. You got to find the system that works for you. Hiya, Derek. And
we're watching on the range.
Yeah, we're watching
today.
on the range. You will have a comment up there later on. I do like that range. I like the fact that you can go up, camp, shoot, camp, shoot,
nice that
shoot, camp.
You're back on your wheels as well.
And to see the beast, out there. Adventures are coming, my friend. Adventures are coming. So just remember, keep that passenger seat clear. It might get taken up next year.
Okay, Kat, that'd be nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a friend that might have to go to America, who's terrified of flying on her own, and her husband's refused to fly. So I dropped the hint and went, if you pay for the flight, I'll escort you thus far. I'll then go on up and see Derek, and then I'll come back and fly back with you. Got to try it on, haven't you? Yeah, free brass. That was brilliant.
Yeah, him and Mac have been waiting to use the hot tents, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you're hoping for opportunity last year, and it never happened. But
I will be hot tenting in November. So
Badger wants to see that stove that you got. Oh, that stove! That has been so popular. Badger, stove.
I'll go down. He's down there, and he. Sweetheart, let me move your nose because I don't want to stand on your nose. Yeah, Daddy, get up. There you go, mate.
Good boy. Look, for the price, yeah, it was. We really when he bought it, he thought it was going to be a thin thing, but I swear you can stand on the damn thing. It's yeah.
There we go. So that's not the best light. Let me have a play with the light.
Yeah.
So
I'll take the cans.
Let me just move those lights.
I'll take the alcohol.
Bit better light. There we go. So that's the stove. What I've done with it is the stovepipes all inside. I've packed them out with some fat wood, some kindling, and some fiberglass mat to set it on.
It's well worth it, Lee. Really is.
It's not massive, and I'll chuck out the heat. And the nice thing with the construction is all these sides are all folded. It's only welded on the back, and one of the seams.
I like these.
Yeah, on the back. So
they're brilliant for hanging your socks on. Yeah.
It's made out of one sheet, and the only welds are on the back, down the side here, and across the bottom. So it's absolutely brilliant. It's not the lightest, I'm the first to admit. It's not a titanium folder, but it's small and light enough that you can lug it along with you. Okay, I quite happily carry that for a couple of miles. It throws out the heat, and let's face it, if you're hot tenting, you're already going to be carrying a heavy tent system. Okay, so yeah, it fits. And being somebody on a tight budget, I can't justify some of the. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love them. Winterwell, Pomoli, if you're listening, I'd love to have
Kiwi. I'll tell you what, the best thing to do with Temu like that every time you see one of those cookers like that, obviously Kiwi's only managed to find one that was £78. Click on it, look at it, and it'll see that you're looking at it. And what will happen is in the next few weeks, it'll come back down to that price.
Kaz has figured out the algorithm for Temu and things like that, which is if there's something you like, click on it, look at it.
Yeah. And it brings more of them up because I'll talk to Jason about it.
Put it in your basket, but don't buy it.
Yeah.
And then what Temu's gone to, they're interested in this. When the prices come back down, they will normally send you an email or a message going,
Yeah,
this is
say,
now reduced
it'll
to.
say item in your basket is reduced by 20%.
And that's pretty much how we found that. I'd been looking for months for a tent stove, something I could use that was smaller than the one I already had. And I'd put one in a basket for about £80. And all of a sudden one day, ping, that comes up, 45 quid, one remaining. And I was like,
oh, you found it 54?
No, 54,
yeah.
one remaining. Mentioned it to Cash, she went on and she went, oh, they got some here for 45. And I was literally I didn't even look at the picture, I just went, buy it.
I said, it's the same. It looks the same.
Yeah.
Measurements were the same. I checked it, and yeah.
And yeah, that's basically how we did it. How she did it. She's my little genius. She is my bargain bunny.
It's like today we were watching Kent, and he had some of this Ozark stuff. He was doing camping with in the storm with the Ozark. Well, I've had an Ozark cool bag. It's one of these ones that's got a solid plastic line sides, and it is absolutely amazing. Did you get your socks again?
Yeah, do excuse my socks. My dog. I look round. There is two socks separated on the floor because my dog has to. Yeah, you're watching, aren't you?
But yeah, the Ozark, and it's Asda or what was Walmart, and that thing I've had it in really, really hot days on the beach, and everything has still been cold inside it. So he showed this a smaller one. I think it's £12, and I thought, oh look, and they obviously at the moment they haven't got those in the Asda store because that's things out. But I happened to go on eBay and someone had a brand new one, and they were selling it for what they were selling it for in Asda. So I've got one right on the way.
John, I have checked out that MSL bag, and I'm looking forward to using it. That is an absolutely fantastic piece of kit, mate. That military mobile shower unit.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be going on a few adventures and camps with me in the future, because again, it's one of those facilities that you don't always think about. It's fine if you're doing an overnight or you're just going up the woods for a weekend. You can wash in your mess tin. But we're going to be doing things like the Ridgeway, where we're out for 4, 5, maybe 8 days on a sort of constant walk. Having that ability to set up a shower, heat it, and again, it's, I'm not expecting a shower as hot as I would at home, but to have something that's not going to make you go ooh when you use it is an absolute bonus, because
you were smiling like a Cheshire cat.
I was smiling like a Cheshire cat. I am really looking forward to using it.
Matt found out today that Jack Hargreaves was a lieutenant colonel in the artillery in World War II on Monty staff.
Well, I'll be blowed, Matt. He never mentioned that, did he, in his old videos?
How? Yeah, I remember.
Like so many didn't.
Jack Hargreaves on How.
Yeah. Like so many never ever discussed today. It'll get too hot if you're not careful. Yeah, it's got a tag built into it that's got a temperature sensor. Not that I'll trust it. I've been caught
thing is, in the UK, I don't think it really yeah, showing her age now.
Yeah, never ever mentioned. He said, I went off to war in 1939. I came back in 1945, and how the countryside had changed. Yeah, fascinating.
The dog is Jack Hargreaves. Going mad on your socks.
Any of you anywhere else in the world that have not come across Jack Hargreaves, if you go onto YouTube and look for Out of Town or Country Ways, this was a gentleman of my childhood, Mac's childhood, that did a series of programs where he explored the British countryside and compared it to pre-war to after the war. And this was a man that grew up in a rural environment. I can remember literally every farm ploughing with horses. And he went away in 1939, served throughout the war, and he came back in 1945 and it was all tractors. Okay, the Lend-Lease system had come in, and practically every farm in the UK had a tractor rather than a horse. And he showed the difference, how in 5 years our farming becomes so industrialised and what we'd lost. But he was a great one at showing the old traditions, long netting, rabbiting,
and he'd
fishing,
often have a piece of
hunting.
an old thing, and he said, "Does anyone know what this is?" And yeah, people were writing and to let him know what they thought it was. Yeah, Badger, the oven gloves that come with that stove. Oh yeah.
Natty Ferguson, yeah. Oh.
Minnow trap, yeah.
Yeah, minnow traps, yeah. And again, it was interesting. I'd like to do a video, but I think it would either get misused or seen in the wrong light. So I have a.
Used to explain not long netting. A lot of people have never ever seen. They've seen the, the.
I have
rabbiting, but not.
I have a.
Thank you, Mac.
I have an interest in trapping. Okay, so it's not something I do.
I'll look at it when I get on, because I'm actually looking at the.
I've had to set traps for problem animals in the past, but from a survival point of view, I've always seen trapping as the advantage, whether it be fish, whether it be game. And I have an interest and a love of old poaching techniques,
like the old eel traps and
things like that. And as a boy, growing up in a small rural area, I knew 2 or 3, and I won't say their names, but families around us that were and have been for generations experts in poaching. And I got to know their kids, and through getting to know their kids, I may have once or twice maybe tagged along in the distance and learnt some of the tips and tricks that they'd used over the years. Now, I've never employed these myself. I'm not a poacher. Okay. However, those techniques and methods, I think, do have a place in the survival world. There are methods and techniques worth knowing. Recently on Temu, I've actually, because I've got to thin the squirrels out in the woods, Kaz picked me up a couple of traps for me to use for that, which will have to be used in conjunction with UK law, rules and regulations when it comes to trapping game. Now, the woods I manage is privately owned, and I do have permission. So I'm already complying with the general license. So is anybody official out there? Yes, I'm complying with the general license. These will be set in a tube, but these are the traps that I will be using. Now, these aren't a nice thing. Okay, no trap is nice. They're heartless. You have to be super sensitive in how you set them, where you set them, and the methodology you use to set them to ensure that you don't catch the wrong thing. Okay, and to make sure that it is swift, clean, and efficient. The way I will ensure that will be in how I set them, and the fact that I will be monitoring. I will be in the area.
We put something probably as thick as that in it.
Yeah,
and let it to set it off, and
they snapped a 1/2-inch dowel clean in half. They are powerful. But getting back to old methods, the funniest one I was ever shown as a kid, and it was funny because it didn't harm the animals and they were released afterwards, was one of my father's friends showing me how they caught pheasant during the war and partridge and
it's not classed as poaching on your own land.
No. And what they did was they made paper cones. They made paper cones that were about that tall, and they made a little hole in the ground. They sat the paper cone in the ground, and then they put grain, raisins, bits of bread, anything they could in the bottom of the cone. And the pheasant would come along and they'd have loose bits around, and he'd start picking it up. And once he'd had all that, he'd put his head in the cone to get those bits out. And the cone would stick to his head. So there was all this 6 pheasants, because they're a funny old bird. When they can't see where they're going, they will just stand stock still. So they're all stood there with white dunce hats on their heads, just don't stock still like that, and you could pick them up and take it off their head. As soon as you took it off their head and they could see, that was it. They would freak and want to get away. And it was such a simple technique. And it amazed me. I was like, that is so simple. And he said, well, that was the beauty of it. We could set that up in an evening, go back 2 or 3 hours later, before the birds had gone to roost. He said, we could walk along and go, that one's nice. I'll have that one. That one's nice. We'd have that one. And again, this was a time when people were subsistence eating in the UK that was struggling for protein. So, yeah, justified, usable, good survival technique, method. Yeah, get you by in an emergency.
Yeah, Katrina's going to sleep, going off now.
Good night, Katrina. Take care. Sleep well, my love. Lots of luck with your filming.
Yeah, my father, I remember him telling me that his dad used to get rooks and crows and used to put out traps and that, and one day they got one of the North Thingy's cat.
Yeah. And I don't hold with I'm not keen on trapping as a survival technique or a pest control technique. It works. I'm not going to get into the subject too much because it is emotive, but I promise you these will be done in a manner where I am managing them at all times. They won't get left overnight. They won't get abandoned. They won't be left out of sight. It will be something that's set up when I'm up the woods, in the woods, correctly, safely managed. And yeah.
That's for another time.
Chicken story. Okay. The chicken story. So when I was at Nipper, we used to hypnotise the chickens at the stables. So if you put a chicken's beak on the ground and draw a line away from it, they will stand with their beak on the ground, and they won't move off of it. And so again, we would do this when people were coming to do rides and that, and have people looking at the chickens, wondering what the hell was going on. And if they ask, we just tell them that's how chickens sleep. They sleep with their beak on the ground so that they don't fall over. I got the stick for it, and I wouldn't do it again because it's not a nice thing to do to chicken. It's cruel. They should be running around getting rid of the bugs and that. But yeah, it's one of those silly things I did as a kid. If you got chickens, don't do it to them. It's not fair. Yeah. So we promote respect and kindness to all living things on this channel. I don't silly things that I may have come across and done as a kid. Yeah. So there you go, Kiwi. I've told the chicken story. That's as far as I'll go with that one. It'll get me into trouble. Sparrow pie. Yeah, during the war, people were managing what they could get. You know. Leave the show. Well, it's just that's that.
Oh.
Yeah. God, yeah, Mac got the stick a few times as a nipper for doing silly things like that. The trouble is, I don't know about you, Mac. How did you learn about it? I learned about it because my dad told me about it. He told me, just laughing one day, that's what him and his brothers did. So what do you do? Well, if it's good enough for my dad, I'm going to try it out for myself. And the next thing you know, you're getting a clip round the ear off for it. Hang on, Dad. That's a bit unfair. You told me. So, what we do? Invites and adventures, Samhain. So we're coming up into Halloween, Samhain. So yeah, the old celebration of the last or the first fire. Time of storytelling.
Pigeon one.
Yeah. That's what it. Yeah, we'll welcome pigeons. Yeah, so we're coming up to that time of year. Kaz's birthday.
Night Badger.
Night Badger. Sleep well, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, my friend. And yeah, keep the videos coming. We are enjoying them, mate. Keep them coming. And again, anybody out there that's not had a look, dive across Badger and the Woodsman. Brilliant channel. Show him some love. Give him some support. Part of the community. It's one of us. Yeah, getting. I often look at the world and the amount of times you sit there, and it doesn't have to be that. It can be in so many things, and you sit there and you think, why? Who had that thought? Shall I jump off, stick my finger in, put that in my mouth?
Unfortunately, no. We were going to be at a hand fasting
Yeah.
as it is on Halloween. It's the date's changed now, so probably have some little trick or treaters round. Probably have the granddaughter come round.
Yeah, we're this year. What we're going to do for Halloween is do what we've done in the past. We're going to spend the time with the wee ones. We will be doing a New Year's Eve live, but that won't be starting till 10 o'clock New Year's Eve.
Yeah, because
we'll
4 hours last time was
because I basically did one last year. We did 4 hours, and for 2 days afterwards, my throat gave me help. So learned a lesson there.
Elcrot wants to know, did the pheasant dunce cap need to be made of sticky paper?
No, mate. What it was because of the shape of the cone and the size of the cone. What happened when the pheasant put his beak in to try and get the grain out the bottom? It was actually the paper stuck over his head. So basically, he had his beak down near the bottom of the point of the dunce hat, and the rest of the cone just slid over his head. And of course, being a pheasant, when he lifted his head up, it just lifts out the hole with him. And pheasant isn't like a cat. He's not going to try and hook it off. He just suddenly goes, hang on, I can't see anything. I'll stand still. As they do quite often in the dark as well.
Yeah.
You used to have an old fella around our way. Used to see him in the evenings walking out this time of year with a bean pole. It was about 10 foot long, and it was only one day I said to my dad, "What's he doing with that?" He said, "He's going to grab a couple of pheasants." And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "This time of year in the dark and that, you spot the pheasant against the moon." He said, "Because they don't roost high in the tree." He said, "The old bugger will go up in the woods, he'll look for a pheasant, highlight against the moon, get the stick, give it a poke out of the tree." He said, "The pheasant can't see where it's going, flutters to the ground, gets into a panic and a flap." He said, "And the old boy will bag it." I was like, "Oh, clever."
Yeah, I was in the soaking the feed in
vodka,
yeah. Or any other sort of.
Oh, there's all sorts of old techniques there. They used to thread sweet corn. They used to get horse and thread it into the sweet corn. Okay, that was another method. Bit cruel, that one.
TJ used to say that one.
Yeah, that was cruel. And of course, one I would not promote because you will definitely get the book thrown at you was rigging a bird line. So it's like a fishing line, okay, with multiple hooks and to nylon along it. And then the grain's threaded onto the hooks, and as you can imagine, what happens there, not very nice. But
Cartler vodka and whiskey.
That's interesting, Mac. That's interesting. I take it.
But do they like Mac specials?
Yeah. I've heard somebody say they did have somebody say to me that they soaked their boilies in some old Baileys and that did well. Probably the same sort of thing. Probably the strong flavour in the water. Yeah. Soaked the ground bait. It's carp again, isn't it? They'll pick up a scent for.
Or are they like mulled wine?
Right.
Because mulled wine's got a very, very strong.
Yeah. And again, it's like carp fishing. It amazed me over the years, the baits that are out there, tutti frutti and all the rest of it. You're like, really? And you start seeing all these weird flavours and that, and the fish are still drawn to them. Some of them actually have a whiskey boilie. Well, I'll be blowed.
I was in Danny Chapter of the World.
Hi, Faye. How you doing? Hope you're good.
I have to go in a minute.
Yeah. Right, so we've got about 15 minutes to go, guys. Kaz is going to go. She's baking a cake tonight. So she's going to go off, bake the cake, little Willow out for his wee, so he can go.
No chasing the fox tonight.
He's going to go FaceTime the fox.
No foxy.
Last night, him and the fox again were stood nose to nose at the gate. There's a bit of a standoff going on. Neither one, I think, wants to attack the other. That neither one's prepared to admit that they've got the time. I'm trying to teach Willow it's night time. Leave Foxy alone.
He's got pouch dog food that he will not eat. So you've been giving them to the fox. It's a young fox.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like the fact that we're giving his pouches to the fox, but he won't eat them.
Yeah.
But
about
good night, everyone. And thank you for the birthday wishes and that. And have a good week. And I'll see you soon.
And I'll keep you going for another 15 minutes. Right, so this fox, when we first came across him about 8 weeks ago, he was suffering. He was underweight, losing fur. He was a mess, and it was one of those awkward ones where I looked at him and thought, if you were on the farm, you'd have probably got a barrel. However, you can't do that around here, obviously. So I said to Kaz, I'll see if I can help him out. And basically, we got some, like I say, pouch dog food, which Willow won't have. So what we did was we started giving him a pouch every other night. I won't do it every single night because I'm not encouraging him to come to me food. He's got to find his food. But I knew that by giving him that every other night, he's just getting those extra vitamins, minerals, and resources into his body that he needs to help whatever or fight whatever the problem was. And it must have been an infection because within 2 to 3 weeks, his condition came back. And now he's quite a handsome, stunning young fox. I freak him out on a regular basis. I'll go out to give him the food and he'll be sitting there watching and he'll come wandering over. And if he gets too close, I'll give it the old like that. Makes him run away because, again, I don't want him going, oh, people mean food, people nice, people like, because sooner or later somebody will give him a boot, and that's not fair on him. I want him to retain his fear of people. However, I'm quite happy to give him a little bit of support for a few more weeks and keep him in good condition. And people say to me, oh, but then you're encouraging the vermin. Well, I'd rather have a few foxes out there than rats and mice. And to be honest with you, the rural foxes that are in the towns now have adapted so well to living alongside us. We're never going to get rid of them. They're always going to be there. When I was doing the vermin control, I regularly used to get calls out from people. I've got a fox problem. Can you come out and deal with it for me? And I'd go out. And before I even looked at the fox problem, I'm just going to walk around your property or your garden, your house, and have a look. And I would walk around, and invariably what I'd find is they're encouraging the fox by what they're putting out or what they're leaving. It's left in such a manner that the fox can smell it. He's like a bear. Where's the easy food? He's going to find that. And quite often it was a simple things. All it was needed, like drill 2 holes in a bin and put a bungee on it. So even if he knocks the wheelie bin over, it stays shut. Okay, simple things like that go a long way. Yeah, you've got to disconnect the bungee before the dustmen come, and that is a pain in the arse. Rather do that than be going around the garden picking up all the rubbish that the fox has thrown over, because at the end of the day, he's a wild animal. He's adapting. He's learning to live alongside us. He's learning to make the most of what we put out for him. And I'll be honest with you, my experience of foxes is that they are intelligent. They are not aggressive towards people. In actual fact, I've known people tame foxes. I've known people that have raised fox cubs, and they've made an absolutely wonderful companion for many, many, many years. I've known foxes that live alongside dogs and cats, and one of the things we've had around here recently, oh, I'm sure my cat's got killed by a fox. Well, I'll be truthfully honest with you. In a cat come fox fight, if the cat is reasonably healthy, the fox isn't going to give it a second thought. Okay, because A, the cat is going to the living crap out of it, and B, a fox doesn't predate on something that's of that size, speed, and energy. They're like a lot of or a lot of their type of animal. They want an easy meal. They'll take the easy meal over something else. I think what happens with people is they see a fox, see the shape, the size of the fox, and they automatically think wolf, and that's a completely different animal in a completely different manner. But yeah, it's so yeah. And I know there's going to be people that say, "Oh, you shouldn't," but got a soft heart at the end of the day. Hedgehogs, oh mate, you're lucky. Kitten, we've got the last. I haven't seen a hedgehog around here in probably 10 years. Used to see them all the time. Partly pesticides, partly the way people look after their gardens now, what they grow and manage and have. The fact that people put down slug killer, yeah, the roads, everything, it's just annihilated their numbers around here. Absolutely decimated beyond belief. And in actual fact, it's a time when hedgehogs should be doing well because we're not getting the cold winters. They don't need to hibernate so long. They should be actually progressing well, but we're losing them in massive numbers. So, mate, I'm chuffed for you. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I remember my childhood, hearing that, yeah, old hedgehog snuffling around. Oh, yeah. It is the Heffenwesen. Yeah, yeah. The little hedge pig. Wonderful little animal. Great little gardener's friend. I was always told as a kid, don't you dare disturb the hedgehogs. You leave them, encourage them into the garden. They'll take care of the slugs, snails, and other pests that are out there. Yeah, they're always seen as a gardener's friend. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's another species that is probably going to go extinct through interacting with them. Yeah. Oh, mate, fantastic little animals. I love. I'm obviously because I've not seen it in years, but you always used to make me laugh how they run. They sort of pick their skirts up, stand on their toes, and tootle along, and they can go a fair old lick as well. I remember watching a documentary. I think it was David Attenborough or somebody like that, and they were showing hedgehogs climbing a wall, and this hedgehog literally came to a brick wall and just went up it, climbed up it. Absolutely amazing to watch. Never seen it myself outside, but just so adaptive animal, very adaptive. And again, one of our British species, and something if you weren't country orientated and you heard a hedgehog at night, you might well sit there and go, "What the hell's that? What the hell's that?" Especially if they're moving through leaf matter, because with those spines and that, they sound 20 times their size. No, Benny. Take care, mate. Love to the family. Yeah, I do love a hedgehog. Yeah, you're right there, Owen. That's their only downside. Obviously, they get covered in fleas and ticks, and because of their spines, it's very difficult for them to deal with the tea and flick, tick and flea problem themselves. Um, yeah, yeah. We are so lucky in the UK. We do have quite an abundance of wildlife. Although Owen's been out again, he had some footage this week. He was showing of the Seeker deer up in his woods. Fantastic species. Me and Flick. Yeah, absolutely incredible animals. So here in the UK, we have Chinese water deer, muntjac deer, roe deer, Seeker deer, red deer, fallow deer. That's our main species, and their numbers at the moment in the UK are out of control. Absolutely out of control, especially in southern England. I'm not sure once we get up into Scotland, the Highlands, but I know down here our numbers are absolutely out of control. It's there was a massive drawback on the controlling of populations and good management. And when I say good management, I'm not talking about just going out and shooting for the sake of shooting. I'm talking about qualified, trained deer managers who could know their herd and select those animals that needed to be reduced out of the herd through either age, infirmity, disease, illness, or the fact that they've started breeding with their daughters, which they will do. And so again, that was good management. But there was a policy 10, 15 years ago where they literally went, do you know what, we don't want to get into hunting and control. And it all got pulled back, and there's just a few dedicated guys still taking it on. And in so doing, the numbers exploded, and now we're getting more and more incidents where there's accidents where people are swerving to miss deer and having accidents, or hitting a deer and then it's creating a larger accident. So the only thing that's really controlling them at the moment is cars, which is an awful thing to imagine, not just for the animal but for the car owner. Because even a roe deer, which isn't a big species, hit by a car at speed, the damage is devastating. They are a solid animal. Even the little muntjac. Okay, he might not look that big, heavy, but he's very dense muscled. So it's terrible. And the numbers, like I say, just going through the roof, and it needs to be got a grip of, needs to be controlled. It's something that I often talk to people about when we were talking about cattle and bovine TB. There's a big drive to reducing badger numbers because they carry bovine TB. Well, they do. They pick it up on their fur, transmit it from field to field, and it's not their fault. They're not bovines. Okay, this is the badger's just getting on with his life. It's not something that he's necessarily carrying. And if the government had its way, we'll annihilate the badgers, remove the badgers from the UK, and there would be no badgers in the UK. But it won't take away the bovine TB, because it will then get carried by the foxes, by the fox fur, and so then we'll have to annihilate the foxes. And then it'll be the deer. Deer carry bovine TB, so then we'll need to annihilate. Where do we stop? Okay. Personally, I think the government needs to get a grip. It needs to fund more. It needs to fund looking more into inoculation against bovine TB and eradicate this disease. Because if it happened in people, they'd do it. Okay. And that's our farming industry. And they sit there at the moment and they say, well, yeah, it's down to the farmers. Okay, I can see part of the responsibility being the farmers, but it's not the farmer that is being told or saying, I've got to shut my farm down, lose my herd, my livelihood, because I am suspected of having bovine TB. One of the things that happens is you get tested every 6 months. There's 2 injections, and they look for a reactor. And basically, if one of the injections swells up, then that's a reactor. Oh dear, you got bovine TB. Now, I have friends that have been caught by this, farmers that have cattle that have then been closed down. Every animal with a lump has gone off, had to be destroyed. Okay, it then gets autopsied and they get a lovely bit of paper back going, no bovine TB found. Meantime, that farm cannot reopen for 6 months until it's had a clear test. And they won't bring the test forward, even if he gets a no bovine TB found. And that's his livelihood. So the farmer's being hit 3-4 ways on that. And it's the government that puts those rules in place. Yeah. So it's a real nightmare. Oh, sorry, I got a little bit angry there. But it is something I do feel quite. Yeah, John, do you know that's something I'd like to see in the UK? And the problem is we built a society here that doesn't want to look at it. Blinkers or anything like that's wrong. You shouldn't do it, and all the rest of it, without realising that there's a responsibility to manage these things if we're going to live alongside them. Killer, yeah, the rules are made by people who don't understand. Yeah, so there are a lot of people in the UK that would like to train to a good standard, to go out to provide themselves with their meat in their freezer rather than go and buy it. There's people that would rather do that, me being one of them as well. However, society today says, no, you can't hunt. It's wrong. It's bad. Bambi. Bloody Disney ruin everything. Okay. And then the situation gets into a situation where it's actually worse for the animals. So, yeah, where do we go? I think you've got it right in the States there. Managed hunting, and that is the correct system, is to have it done properly, ensure that people can do it humanely, make sure they do it right, and in a lot of cases, I know from friends of mine that live in the States, they pay for their licenses, their permits, and they go out. They're allotted a certain number of animals at a certain time of the year, and that money goes back into the managing, the caring for, the looking after the wild herds, supplying, training, equipping rangers, and all this. All good management, all moves round and round in circles, and it is, as you say there, all meat, all meat. Excellent. I see they were doing that in Texas with where they got the wild boar problem. A lot of the wild boar that are trapped. I was watching a documentary where they were actually going out rather than hunting them. They found that it was more efficient for this team to trap them, and they were trapping something like 10 wild boar a night. And these were then being brought back, humanely dispatched, and going into a meat system for shelters and for people that were struggling. That was a good system. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. It was what I call good common sense management. Common sense management? How dare you, Mickey? Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'd like to see more common sense like that in the world. And again, I'm a soft-hearted soul. I when I've had to do management in the past, I've cried more than once over an animal. You know, there's no pleasure in killing something for me. There is a sense of I've done it and I've done it right, because I will not take an inhumane shot. And that's the only satisfaction I get out of it, is when I can sit there and go, well done, clean, what you would want yourself. It doesn't stop me from spending a second or two leaning over the animal with my hand on it, thanking it for its supply of meat, and regretting the fact that I've ended its life. That's just the way I am. Call it soft, maybe, but I like to try and think I have a respect, and I'm in touch with my environment and those things around me. I know my place on this planet, and I know I'm part of the system. Oh, yes, right. So, Owen, the first thing you need to do to deal with that orangutan is you need to go out, and orangutans make a nest every night. They create a nest by bending over branches, gathering up undergrowth and that, and will sleep in the nests, occasionally in communal groups. Okay. Um, they move very quietly through the forest. They very, very steady in their movements, super intelligent, are drawn to twinkly things like mirrors, lights, they're like, what is that? And they get fascinated and they're drawn to it. Okay. Yeah, I do like an orangutan. Not to be confused, obviously, with the arboreal orangutan. The orangutan is only found in Ireland, in certain forested areas of Wicklow. Um, yeah, wonderful creature, absolutely wonderful. When I come over, we're gonna actually have to go up and see if we can find one and film it for the guys, because I don't think there's actually any recorded imagery out there, but I'm pretty sure with our skills we'll be able to track it down. Cakes, yeah, I believe they got a unique sense of smell, and I think cakes in the morning, early in the morning, they've been known to travel for miles, sometimes as individuals and occasionally in groups, which they call clans, looking for cakes. They will travel absolutely miles looking for cakes. Yeah, so I believe it, and it's something to do with the sweetness. They're just drawn to that. That's what happens when they interact with the human race. They get a taste for these things. Oh, I don't know about the hobnobs, mate. I think if we were tracking them using hobnobs, the problem is I'd probably eat the hobnobs myself. I'm blowed if I'm sharing chalky hobnobs with any great ape. And of course, you've got to refer to it as a great ape. As Terry Pratchett would tell you, never call the librarian or an orangutan a monkey. He'll pull your head off. I don't know if the nuts are ginger, mate. I've never actually been able to hold one up and have a. Oh, biscuits. I see what you mean. Yeah, sorry, kitten. Yeah, possibly ginger nuts. Possibly ginger nuts. Yeah. The range of the average orangutan is, I believe, it's about 10 miles. I believe that their area of movement is normally within about 10 miles. They enjoy being up on the high points of the mountains, although they come down into the forested areas, obviously, to rest overnight and that. No kiwi. No kiwi. Chocolate hobnobs. I can't share chocolate hobnobs. I'm sorry. It's a thing. It's selfish of me. But me, you, boat, ocean, packet of chocolate hobnobs. I hope you can swim. It's simple as that. Don't share your chocolate hobnobs with anybody, Mick. No, just so far I can be pushed. No worries, Owen. I'm glad I could help. Yeah, there's a golden rule. I say I go out and do a community camp, and I'll tell you, anybody that comes community camping with me, right, you'll have a nice packet of chocolate digestives, maybe some Jaffa cakes, custard creams, and it won't be cheap. I'll buy you the good quality stuff. But the chocky hobnobs are mine. No worries, Kiwi. Right, I said 15 minutes, and I was gonna head down because Kaz is making this cake. Guys, that's 2 hours and 7 minutes. It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you for listening to this old full waffle on. It's been absolutely great fun and a real pleasure. As usual, I would like to say thank you to you all, guys. Take it easy. Have an absolutely awesome week wherever you are. To your good ladies, thank you for allowing them to go out, have their adventures and film. And for those of you that are ladies that go out and do it yourself, good on you. Good on you. I'd like to see more ladies out in the woods. That may have come out not quite as I meant it, but you get what I mean. You have a great time. Janet, keep them coming, my love. Absolutely brilliant. And you're exactly the sort of person I'm talking about. We need to get more of the girls out there. Show the guys how it's done. All right. So, yeah, guys, have an awesome week. Get outside, have your adventures, get some fresh air if you can. Yeah, enjoy yourselves, be safe, have fun. And, of course, as always, love those you do, forgive those you don't, and may peace and light be upon you all. Have an absolutely fantastic Samhain, Halloween, All Hallows Eve, however you want to term it. Have a great time. Enjoy yourselves, guys. I'll speak to you next Sunday. Take care. Mickey out.